Welcome to USAFBL Fingerboard Podcast. I'm your host, Levine Cunningham. Today I've got Mason Baker, aka Father Skate Supply, and Too Fat to Crust.
How's it going, y'all?
Man, I'm stoked that you're here on this pod.
20-hour bus ride. I got to spend the week with my dad. It was worth it. So, got to see friends and family. Got to come out and have a good contest. Just see all these new people that I've never met before and see how the scene's really been evolving since I got involved with what you've been doing.
For everybody, we're live here at the Atlanta event. The doors just opened and we're trying to get the last of these little pods in, get everybody on. Shout out to all the local homies. Got Mason Baker here on the mic. Atlanta 2025 regional tour stop. You were here yesterday.
I was, in fact, here yesterday.
It was a blast.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. It's always a good vibe whenever USAFBL actually is doing the physical event themselves. You tend to do it on a bigger scale than what most of the sanctioned events that you've been doing nationwide have been. But judging from what I've seen by all of the videos, recap videos from the last year and a half, the way the season's been going, it's been only getting bigger, stronger, and better.
I couldn't agree more. I'm excited to wrap up this season, not with just the last of the regionals and the nationals, but you're talking 2026 with a whole new listings of sanctioned events for the locals, and of course coming back on tour for regionals and nationals for 2026. We're also sending people to Fast Fingers 22 next year for the World Championships, Germany.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're going to be sending the best of the best to represent North America, Central America, basically as a whole. We're going to leave it up to the skate gods because, like I said, only the best of the best can go.
This is true. We're sending the three best fingerboarders at nationals. The winners of Best Trick, Best Run, and Game of Skates. So the three winners of those contests at nationals, they're getting a free trip out to Germany on behalf of USAFBL competing for the World Championships. And I've got to rant a little bit about this World Championships.
Rant away, big boss.
Because I know that, you and me, we'll get on the mic, we'll talk some shit, and I'm all about it.
Oh, yeah.
So Black River, which I love Black River, don't get it twisted, but they've got a history of only Black River riders winning their contest.
As peculiar as it is, I don't personally feel it's like if some people feel it's rigged, I personally disagree with that theory.
Well, I'm not saying it's rigged.
Oh, I wasn't
but I'm
saying you thought it was
that
rigged.
They've always won, and we need to bring our A team, our best, and we need to knock some of the Germans off that totem pole, and we got to slide in some Americans. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I don't disagree. In fact, in terms of mentioning Black River, how they've kind of had for lack of a better term, a chokehold on the podium at Fast Fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's just call it what it is. It's been absolute dominance by Black River riders.
This is true.
They're world renowned. They're not all just European based. We've got a few over here in North America as well that are on par with the bigger names on that squad. I think the coolest thing about sending the three best American riders over is there is a 95% chance that they are not on a Black Rivers team, for whether it be obstacles, boards, trucks, the wheels. And it's going to get an opportunity for the rest of the world to see, these are the kind of companies coming out of America right now, whether it be sponsors I have, sponsors other riders here have. At the end of the day, when Fast Fingers is said and done, they're going to know that those brands and those riders were there regardless of results, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward because right now the American scene has just been exploding.
We've been making massive statements worldwide.
Mm-hmm. But on the competitive circuits, we have been lackluster.
I think it's because we haven't had something like this set up to really determine, in terms of who wants to compete and be in the competitive circuit, who really is the most consistent, who can handle the pressure, who can just wave off the cameras and the eyeballs on them.
That's a special talent right there.
That's why I set my camera up as much as I can for myself. I've been involved in your league since 22, and ever since then I've kept the camera rolling as much as possible. And to this day, I still, right before I start filming, I'm working on that.
It takes a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but once you get past all that, it is butter.
Oh yeah, once you get a kickflip nose grind or a kickflip back tail down on camera, the pressure goes away. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things where you got to stay consistent, stay on it. And if you really want to get out to Germany and you really want to make your statement that, hey, as an American rider, take us a little more serious, You know, we're not just a bunch of little skeevy, thrifty kids that are just looking for something to do and bored. You know, some of us, this is our way to stay skating because of injury. Some of us never physically got into it because we were scared of getting hurt, and this is the closest thing we got. Like, we take this just as seriously as they do in Europe, in Asia. I mean, down in like Southeast Asia, the Asian islands and the Indonesian islands, those scenes are massive.
They're huge.
Oh, I've been talking to the guys out in Malaysia and all of that. You know, there's a bit of a language barrier, but they take it super serious, and I think it's only a matter of time before we start seeing those guys end up at Fast Fingers too.
They are just the currency exchanges. I think is the only thing that's keeping those guys behind. Like the Philippine, they're like in the Facebook groups. Some of those like Philippine groups, I mean, they're talking like 100, 150,000 people in some of those groups, and I'm like, wow.
Oh yeah, I get hit with friend requests like dozens daily from the guys over down in those islands and that area of the world. And at first, you think with the name and the picture, you're like, oh, fake profile. Then you look into it and you see, they're posting clips. They're good. They're involved in the community.
We'll be talking about them in the next couple of years, I feel like.
I'm already talking about them now. I
feel that.
But I mean,
you'll really start to notice them, though. You'll probably see leagues and things like that start to develop, pop up, and things kind of happening over there.
That's why I'm glad we're bringing it up, because now that we brought it up, the people are finally going to start seeing it more. You know, and it's not because of an algorithm thing. It's going to be one of those, once it's out there, you know about it kind of deals. You finally see it.
Man, so speaking of cameras and stuff, we're talking about... Let's talk about the 2024-2025 King of the Plies.
So 2024 really kind of set a precedent of what to expect with this contest. And I like how you kind of paid homage to Thrasher, King of the Road, wanting to just kind of do a turn loose, no holds barred deal. You know, the first year you felt it out. There was some craziness and some zaniness. You know, and the guys were about their business and just knocked it out and made very, very well polished, presentable video projects at the end of it. But 25 is when we started to realize, only the second time around, this has potential to be bigger than possibly the competitive circuit itself.
It is. I feel like the amount of energy, time, and passion that went behind the King of the Plies projects, unmatched, unparalleled. And for people that don't know what I'm talking about, King of the Plies is literally a 45-day video submission team competition. So like basically you put together a local team. So Mason here, Fathers, put together the Texas Ranger division. So he had a crew that's local. We put together a list of challenges, and they go out and they film these lists of challenges, and then they submit their story, their edits, and they compete against 12 other teams, 13 other teams that are also doing it in different cities around the country.
It's worth the buy-in. Like, you know, one thing that I felt turned a handful of crews off from really doing it and pulling the trigger was the buy-in. But when you look back on it, whether you place or not, get a package or not, or win any of that pot or not out of the deal, like I was telling you yesterday, this contest will test you as a rider, test you as a crew, test you as a filmer and editor. It will test you in your decision making on the fly. You only have 45 days to do this, from the day the challenges drop till the moment you have to have your Google Drive files submitted and sent to you. At 45 days, we sat there and took a week off on this. And when we took that week off and reconvened so everybody could go to work, make a little extra money to do this, we felt the pressure. Like, we were tested ourselves. I can't really speak for any other teams involved, but all I can say is, if you really are about this life and you really just want to prove that you're a 1%er, this is the way to do it. The contest circuit's fine and all, and I love it myself, but I think King of the Plies is really where a lot of people are going to shine for the league.
I think King of the Plies is like, it's so core and so raw, and the challenges, we kind of created a cult. Like, I've got probably 20 people with our logos tatted on them, Plies logos.
Oh, yeah.
Plies.
Speaking of, no, I don't have one, but I wanted to shout out my two guys that got them, because a handful of guys had multiple members get tattooed like we did, but I'm biased, so I'm going to say that Dysfunctional Fingers, you had the best one. I love you, Zach. You got the actual duck trophy on your shoulder.
I saw that.
And then, ditch, Kenneth, you know,
Yeah, you got
the thin line KOTP with the crown, you know, and that was him trying to manifest the win for us, I believe.
Okay. Man, well, I got Gary Graves. I held him back on some of the challenges this year. Like,
big mistake. You should always let him fly. He's a beautiful peacock. He needs to spread his wings.
He makes me nervous with some of the challenges. We're going like creating challenges. We, just get together. We're just having a session. Like, he's spitting them off, and I'm like, I don't know, man. These are pretty risky, pretty dangerous, pretty raw and uncut for fingerboarding. Like skateboarding, like hell yeah. But I'm like, fingerboarders, like I don't know. And you guys answered the call this year with the couple that I allowed him to put on the rock docket, and everybody stoked and completed them. And I'm like, all right, Gary Graves this year, 2026, King of the Plies, should drop this April. He's got full range. I think he's got about 10 absolutely wild challenges for you guys to add to the circuit.
Well, we're saving our pennies, just putting stuff off to the side, because as long as you're doing this contest, I know for a fact the Father's Crew is going to keep buying in and keep trying. Like I said, as much as we love coming to the sanctioned events and the regionals and the nationals, we feel that's our element, and we feel that's where we're finding a lot of other teams are finding their element. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about the fun and the memories, but it's still also proving that, hey, I'm a 1%er. Hey, I live this life. You know, that's really what this contest series King of the Plies is about.
I feel that. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, USFBL is just that platform for people to be able to hop on, create, and really be able to express their passions for fingerboarding. Whether you're here at an event, I saw a kid get sponsored yesterday, which is pretty wild. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say because they're talking about maybe doing a pro model or something like that. But
oh yeah, let's keep that under wraps.
I don't want to be that guy that leaks that. But I'm just saying, like coming out here and like being able to network, connect, sesh, hang out, have a great time, possibly find sponsors and network and wild. And then if you're a competitive fingerboarder, this is the only real place to shine on a legitimate circuit.
Oh yeah, if you like pressure, if you like showing off and showing out, this is the place to be.
Of course. And then of course you got the podcast where you got real people telling real stories.
Some of the stories I hear are wild on the podcast. Some of the stories I hear are wild, where it just went from I was bored one day to I run the biggest brand out there in this region, or you know, I was a pro. I was this close to going pro, and then my knee, my ankle, my leg, and they found their passion and repurposed themselves. So I mean, it's the stories themselves can be tame, but what they got out of it, how it came to fruition, is what's wild to me too.
Yeah, no, most definitely. First off, you had a hell of a journey getting out here, and I appreciate you making that trip, making this journey. I hope everything far exceeds everything that you were expecting out of this event. Even though this is the start of day 2, I mean, we got a crazy day today.
Well, I'm already seeing guys at the table working on their best trick submission. I don't want to be that guy, but a couple of guys are trying to recreate what I did a couple years ago in Atlanta in 22.
Okay. You want to talk about it?
I mean, it does my heart good to see people doing that trick. Not many people do it. So to see one of the youngest competitors here pull it off just as cleanly as I like to do them, and another guy sitting here putting in the work and getting them really, really well and consistent, you know, you think in a contest format, your ego would kick in and you'd be like, oh, that's my trick. How dare you? No, I don't gatekeep. The day, like in 22, when I showed everyone that trick, I was telling everyone how to do it after the contest already. Like it's part of progression. It's part of the history with it, and that's what I'm liking about this contest. I'm seeing people evolve stuff that were just concepts a couple years ago into their daily repertoire.
I feel that. There's a couple people out here nonchalantly busting out Nolly Hills like it's second nature and
Baja,
Jonas,
Russ, me,
and you. I'm about to perfect it by the end of the day. That's the goal. The goal is to be like, all right, let me get the motions because it's foreign to me. But everybody out here on the competitive circuit, man, they're just, especially game of skates. Like we had some epic, like regional qualifier game of skates go down yesterday.
Oh, games of skate this year have been insane. The consistency level of these riders is getting ridiculous.
It is.
Like, I mean, I do game of skate at every sanctioned event, and I'm just happy to make it to like the round before third place. You know, I'm not the most consistent. I'm 100% an edit skater. You know, I'm definitely the guy that sets up the camera, the angles, the filming, and I'll sit there and put in the work, you know, the hour-long battle for my trick. So game of skate's a little out of my element, but that's why I do it.
It's just about just learning and evolving. Game of skate is like it's one within yourself. It's just about you can't. It's not like you do a best run. You're like, oh, maybe if I would have done this trick instead of that trick. It's one of those like it's 1-on-1, 1v1, you versus you kind of a thing.
Yeah, you see your opponent put a trick down and you don't have that trick at all, that's where things can take a turn for the worst.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've seen guys learn that trick on the spot, on the other, like on the same side of that coin.
Too. Like I've never done that before, and they actually did it and did it good, like clean and like it just buttered. I'm like, that's wild to me to see that in real life.
Me with nollie heels when I was learning to get consistent with them up against Jake Romer in Dallas. The man switched heels and nollie heels in his sleep. And he threw one out on me in a round of it, and I'm like, I don't have that. And, I pulled it off, and I kept my round alive. So that's what I'm talking about. You'll learn tricks on the fly. Mm-hmm. And they may not be pretty, but if they're clean enough, it keeps you alive in the round.
I feel that.
Baker makers will save you guys. Don't be afraid to take an imperfect landing. Whether it be your video clips, your game of skate round, your contest runs. Just document it, and you can watch your progression that way.
I feel that. All right, let's backtrack a little bit about the brands because we really haven't talked about a lot about fathers. Like, it's been a minute since you've been on the pod last. I think we did the Heartbreak Valentine's Day special.
Yeah, actually, and it's kind of funny. One of the guys that I didn't name with a situation we talked about in that episode is in this room right now, and I was more than happy to see him. We hugged it out. We were smiling. We shook hands. We had an hour-long conversation about just life, catching up about what we've been up to. So that's the thing. Like on the other side of the heartbreak, if you give some things a little bit of time, strained relationships in this scene repair themselves.
Yeah. Man, all right. So it's been about a year, I guess. So kind of like recap the last year, what's been going on with fathers, and then kind of walk us into what's going on present day and the future.
Okay, so I've revamped some things. I went into pre-order. Like I set up my big cartel again. Finally, I've got it set up. I'm actually dropping prices on everything when I get back to Texas. Okay. So anybody that's actually interested in Father's merch, which none of you are, and I'm okay with that. I'm dropping prices, man. Hoodies are about to be cheaper. T-shirts are about to be cheaper. Any color you want on the print, any color you want on the shirt. Okay. I've got a supply house in town instead of waiting to order in bulk. So that's what's been happening. Moving to Texas from Louisiana for fathers has been exponential in terms of its growth. I've established a local crew. It's strengthened the connection with the guys nationally and internationally. Shout out Nux in Canada. Shout out Baldy in the UK. You guys are holding it down worldwide for me, and I couldn't thank you guys anymore.
We are missing Baldy. Baldy came in 2023 last time we were down here. He flew in.
Yeah, first time I met him, and I'd been knowing him for about a year or two before that.
Shout out Baldy, man.
We miss you out here.
Rematch and skate.
We miss you, Baldy. You got to come back stateside, please. But so and then meeting up with Kenneth, aka Ditch Decks. That's also been huge in terms of the growth of fathers. He got on the squad over time. I was on Jelly Bear on the last episode. Jelly Bear's involved with Father's crew nationwide, so interstate, I should say. Okay. I got the blessing from Justin to start working with Kenneth on Ditch Decks. So, since then, I personally have switched from Jelly Bear to Ditch Decks. But shout out, Justin. Keep doing what you're doing. And that's also been helping fathers in a sense that we now work together shoulder to shoulder. We're pouring concrete for Ditch. We're shaping decks for Ditch. We're about to start lathing wheels for a new brand we're going to unveil over time once we perfect our lathing and the sizes we want, get our bearings we want. It's been allowing a dedicated area for me to print. So I've just been slowly acquiring shirts and hoodies over time, letting them build up. Just mostly sending them out to team riders and events for now. And if people ask about it, I've got stuff for sale, but once again, I'm just trying to still, like we were talking about in the last episode, just eat a bunch of profit, put shirts and hoodies in people's hands and on their backs. Like right now, it's not about making the money or getting the sales. It's about establishing who you are in the community, what your brand's about, what your riders can do for you in the scene.
I feel that a lot. That's a huge progression. I could see like the forward movement from where you were 3 years ago when I first met you to where you are now. It's pretty crazy.
No, when I first started Fathers, I was working out of the floor level of a garage with a mother-in-law suite above it. And I was helping out my mom she lived in that mother-in-law suite. So I was helping out my mom up there. So, they let me set up shop, do my thing over there, but it was just really, really tough. It's Louisiana. It's dirty. It's muggy. It's humid. The weather's not ideal. Being out in Louisiana, there's no scene to establish. We're hoping to actually go out to New Orleans and help build that up actually through Fathers and some Texas brands. And when Eli comes back from wherever he's been at Lost Flipper.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say he's been talking about trying to set something up.
We've been talking. He's actually been talking with the guys at Ride and Dirty Skate Shop in Slidell, Louisiana, about setting stuff up because they just got a new skate park. So he and I have a lot of mutuals. He didn't know what I knew.
Okay.
So he was sending me DMs. Hey, do you know who this is? Oh yeah, that's so and so. That's my friend's kid brother actually, and stuff like that. That's how small the area of Louisiana, Mississippi, Eli and I are from is.
That's crazy. Well, I know he's a good resource. He's a hard worker. He really wants to make things happen and stuff. So I'm excited for you guys to tag team up and see what you guys are able to establish out there for sure.
And then you've actually helped me out immensely after I've moved to Texas. I mean, as soon as Kenneth established roots back in Texas, he was a Texas native living in NorCal for a while, came back because of family and all that. You just kind of threw, I would, lack of a better term, threw it on us. You guys want to do a sanctioned event for us? And I didn't even hesitate. I said, yeah, let's do it. And, you've taught me how to run an event. You've taught me the phantom costs that go into running an event, things you have to eat, things you need to look for in terms of a venue. So, it helped us. We've started doing a bi-yearly event. It's actually about to turn quarterly starting January.
Nice.
So Salad Fingers, the events in Houston, are about to start going every 3 months. And we're actually trying to line it up with how Phoenix does their schedule.
Okay.
So we can at least have 6 events a year going on now at this point. Okay. Or no, more than that. I'm sorry.
Well, Phoenix, I know, does...
They do quarterly.
They
do 4. So that's what I'm saying. I meant to say 8. My math does not math, ever.
It's okay.
That's why I have tape measures, pens, pencils, and micrometers. I write everything down.
Have to.
But yeah, so, and that's been another thing. You've gotten me in touch with Steven. Steven's been a finite resource of knowledge and in terms of connections on how to source for things I need, materials. Mm-hmm. So, just getting involved with you in the league has been exponential for the brand. And it all actually came from being inspired by what I saw in 22, the first time I met you in person and came out and met a lot of these people. The Fathers didn't become a concept till after I got back to Louisiana from my Georgia, Florida trip that year.
That's why I like hosting these events. I feel like a lot of people come out, they get inspired, they meet up with other people that also inspires them because they'll come see a vendor or they'll talk to people that are making decks and they'll literally be able to pick their brain. Be like, hey, I want to make decks or I want to make obstacles. Kind of want to do something that's like this, but not like this. What do you think? What do you suggest? And they'll literally interact with them and talk to them and be like, yeah, try this out. I'll point you in this direction. And for me, coming here, the cities every single year, I'll meet people, I'll give them a few pointers and then they'll come back and be like, bro, I did what you said. And now I've got 2,000 followers on Instagram and I'm making edits and I'm creating this and I started a channel and I'm like, bro, you're making it. And they're super excited. And you do it year after year after year. And you really kind of see the progression of people Nick Dimer. His first event was our Philly event in 2022. And I've watched his entire career from start to finish, Sausage Rams. There's a lot of people
that is one of the most insane Cinderella stories I've ever seen in fingerboarding. Yeah. One of the most insane Cinderella stories ever. Nick and I are in each other's DMs occasionally.
Yeah.
Mostly talking about, we got to have the extra cash for Taco Bell or Golden Corral. And I don't disagree, man. Mm-hmm. Golden Corral's where it's at.
It is. We're from the South. You know about Golden Corral.
Oh, and if you've never been to a Waffle House on top of that, just come out to the South in general and find the nearest one. Go between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m.
That's when all the fun happens.
On a Friday or Saturday night.
Preferably a Saturday.
Oh, if you guys want to see a UFC match go down in person, you don't have to pay for it. Honestly, it's the cost of some hash browns basically and a cup of coffee. It beats watching the fight on TV most of the time. Waffle House employees apparently have diplomatic immunity. They could commit war crimes at this point and get away with it in their defense, of the restaurant themselves.
They could be literally substitutions for the Avengers.
Oh, I've heard the Avengers are actually afraid of Waffle House line cooks.
The only person not afraid, Chuck Norris.
I don't know. Chuck Norris still says please to them.
Damn, that's a whole nother ball game right there.
I could also just be his Southern charm and the way he was raised.
That's true. That's true. All right. So what's next up for fathers?
Well, like I said, the Salad Fingers events we do are going to go quarterly starting in January. We're going to line up with Phoenix and start doing 8 events a year combined between the two of us. We're talking to some guys over in Austin about seeing if they want to start doing quarterly events as well. We don't need them to all be sanctioned like the way Phoenix does, but I'm going to keep doing my one sanction event out of the year for you. I'm going to talk them into sanctioning out in Austin once every 4 if they decide to go quarterly. And the plan is to have an event a month.
Okay.
In pretty much from Central to East Texas, an event a month. So you might be traveling down to Houston one month. You might be going up to Dallas one month. You might be going to Austin. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get Corpus Christi involved over time. They're their own scene. I went down there and helped host an event at a Zoomies when I first moved down there. And you'd be surprised how hungry they are for something more solid and more committed.
No, that's definitely everybody's looking for stability. Everybody's looking for stuff that's just consistent. There's just there's a lot of one-offs, and it's really hard to build off of one-offs.
That's what I thought Salad Fingers was going to be the first one. I was like, this is going to be a one-off. And then when I saw the turnout, I was like, okay, I'm going to do one around October, make it fun for everyone, Halloween. And the turnouts have just been getting bigger and better, and I'm seeing that at other events, not only just in Texas, but the Florida guys, when they actually get their events going, which they need to kind of get off their asses and do a little bit more out there. You got guys in Southern Georgia that are dying to get out to contests. You got guys like your mom's favorite, you got Yuck and all them, and they can do a little more, honestly. Like, I'm calling y'all out. That's right.
Okay, I like it.
Send me a DM arguing with me about it. I'll send you some nonsense unrelated to the whole topic and tell you how little I care about your feelings on it. Get off and do more. Get off the phone and go do more. Make your phone calls. Get some things planned. It doesn't even have to be quarterly like we're trying to do. Like buy yearly.
Let's get one going a year. Let's try to start off with a 2026 event. Definitely hit me up. I'm down to help. I'm down to sponsor. I'm down to promote. Whatever you guys need, definitely let me know. Because the Florida scene is big, but there's no organizers that are really aggressively kind of doing things. You got mom's favorite right now that's really kind of leading the pack, and I think that's really about it.
And on top of that, it's so hard for him to do it all by himself.
Yeah, he's just one guy. Like, we need a team. We need a village.
On top of that, I mean, just like everyone else here, that's whether they're a competitor, a product creator, a brand owner, or anything like that, he's got his kids, his wife, his hobbies outside of fingerboarding. He can't just constantly devote his time to it. I mean, the reason I do it is because I've gotten bored of playing video games. I'm getting too old and beat up to keep riding BMX as consistently as I used to. I need something to occupy my time, or else I'm just going to go crazy. So I've decided to just jump in this 100% and make this what I do now as of the last couple of years. And we're really looking for guys that are dedicated like that. I mean, you don't have to be a 1%er, but you just got to love what you're doing.
No, for sure. Man, all right, so where can people find you on the internet?
You can find my personal account at Too Fat to Crust, and that's the proper usage of 2 and 2. And I underscore it all. And then one word, Father's Skate Supply. We have riders collabing with the Father's page. That way you can see what guys are up to and what they're doing. We just recently did a giant photo dump of some memories we found in all our phones and cameras from the King of the Plies run. Okay. So, there's some clips of some stuff that didn't make the cut. There's pictures of some stuff before we did our events and challenges.
Some BTS stuff, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of BTS going on. A lot of it is just, it seems unimportant to the outsider looking in. Mm-hmm. But if you're involved with the scene and you're up to date on what's going on with these events and things, you'll look at these pictures and be like, oh, it was like that.
Gotcha.
I mean, I lost a board at City Hall for King of the Plies. It fell down into the dungeon pit.
Oh.
And it was on a Sunday, so they were closed. Oh, I could have gone to the front desk and asked for a janitor there to go down there and grab it for me, but it was on a Sunday. I was going to go back the next night with my fishing magnet to go get it back. Mm-hmm. But I got unlucky. A thunderstorm came through that Sunday night. And when I went down there, either they swept it up and threw it away, or it got swept away. I mean, I kind of had a feeling it was long gone to begin with. But I had some Dogus on that thing, man. I was so mad. I had Dogus on that thing. I was mad.
Casualties, man. Casualties. That's for love of the game right there, though.
Oh man, if you're not losing a setup or getting bearing slip on your favorite wheels,
Do you even fingerboard?
dude, I go through a sheet of grip a week. I have to take acetone and rubbing alcohol to my deck to clean it off because I'm tired of waxing ledges.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the pod.
I appreciate you letting me come
on, talking a little shit.
Appreciate you letting me come on and run my jowls a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we got to get the doors open. Day 2, Atlanta 2025. I'm stoked for this. I can't wait for all these to come out on the pod. Till next time.
Just remember, get off your ass and do something if you want to build the scene.
What he said.